Hi, Miss Adams. Thanks for meeting with me today. I just wanted to do a short little interview with you and ask you some questions about some things we noticed about our school. So, if you could just explain to me, what you teach and just your role within the school, that'd be great.
Okay, so I'm the 12th grade English teacher and I am the advisor for the Student Council Board
Okay.
here. And yeah, that's pretty much the main roles I have at the school.
So you have lots of interactions with students.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the kids,
Okay.
especially 12th grade.
Okay. So we've noticed that over the past few years, our graduation rate has been declining. And I would just like to hear what your experience might be with that and maybe some explanations that you could give us just according to your classroom and the relationships you have with your students.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're sure you know this or not, but we're referred to as a dropout factory, which means a lot of our kids don't graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in and of itself has an effect on the kids when they enter into ninth grade, almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy over their heads.
Okay.
So that's something as a teacher we have to fight every day.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's because they don't have a model for someone that has graduated before that can kind of mentor them how to get to that point of graduating?
Yes, I do think you touching on home life is a big issue for our children. We are in a hyper-segregated African American community. A lot of our kids, their parents may not have even graduated, or they're attempting to get their GED. So we often talk about first-generation college students, but we don't focus on high school students whose parents haven't even passed that point. Mm-hmm. So I do think that is a concern for our student population.
Okay. So with any of the students specifically in your class, do you notice that there's a significant number not passing?
I would say there is an issue with retention. Our kids come in behind, and as a teacher, we're constantly having to catch up, and that
Mm-hmm.
can affect the kids' academic confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would say that's what you're addressing there. So, it's hard to catch up once you're behind, especially if the teacher has to cater to kids that are where they should be and teach according to that. So, that's a difficult situation that you have to manage, and a lot of kids get lost in it.
Mm-hmm. So by the 12th grade, you feel like students don't necessarily have the knowledge just because they're so behind from the previous years?
Yes, so they may have problems passing the graduation test. Again, it may be academic confidence. Some kids may just drop out. Their parents, it's a different home life, so their parents may not mind them dropping out. And a big part of that is just that they don't feel academically confident. So why would they come to a place where they don't experience, any strengths? They're constantly performing according to what people say performing poorly in comparison to other students.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like your colleagues, your teachers, do they create an environment where students do feel supported academically? That they can focus on their strengths instead of their weaknesses?
Right. I think school climate is a big issue here, and I think that's what you're referring to. This is a piece of that. Our teachers get discouraged and they get burnt out. So I think a big part of that is just professional development and us constantly being aware of this issue and having self-care, and also, well, how do we address this? How can we help the kids inside the building and in our community outside of the building?
Mm-hmm.
So I think as teachers we could use that as a piece of our professional development. How do we deal with this huge issue?
So you're saying that that's something that our school can improve upon?
Definitely.
The school climate in relation to the students graduating? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any specific stories that you've heard from your students talking about their home life that's preventing them from getting to school, or your student council members?
I think there's also an issue with attendance at our school. That can be a lot of different issues, but just an example, like you're saying, oftentimes it has to do with home life, and that could be the kids may financial issues, so the kids may be helping to provide for the family. So some days they just can't come, or the kids may be living with their grandparents, and the grandparents ill, so the kids have to help take care of the grandparents. The kids may be English language learners, so the kids may have to go to a doctor's appointment with their parent because they are the translator between the parent and themselves. There's a ton of home life issues that our kids come to school with, and that also is a barrier to their academic learning, and which obviously contributes to this problem, graduation rate.
So I'm hearing you talk a lot about how there's external factors that are going on outside of school that's preventing them from attending and ultimately graduating. So do you have any potential ideas on how we could better serve these students or provide them with resources that can encourage that better attendance and graduation?
It's very difficult because we haven't even covered every issue, and so I think we can attempt to tackle what we can, but there's so many issues, and ultimately we have to address all of them to fix this problem. So, I mean, like I just mentioned, I think teacher development as well as the administration having development with this issue. Also, maybe we talked about mentoring. Maybe the school counselors or even community members coming in and just having a mentor who has successfully passed high school, and it would be great if also they had successfully gone through college or a technical school, a trade, started a business, that they could be a mentor alongside the students and maybe match their interests. I think that would be a great encouragement for the students. Also, if we could provide support for the parents, whatever's going on in our community, if we could kind of tackle some of the common trends in our community and help the parents in any way that we can. Because like I said, a lot of it is not just what's going on inside the school. If we could address what the kids are dealing with outside the school, maybe they'll have a better chance of growing academically in the classrooms.
I think that's a great idea. A mentoring program could be super, positive for the students, and then also getting more involved in the community and getting the community to help the students. I think that would be a good connection. So what I'm going back to what you said earlier about the dropout factory, do you think that the school and teachers and administrators talk enough about college and post-secondary opportunities, or even military, or anything that students can do beyond college other than, working?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't think, because maybe this is over our head. We're probably more concerned with this goal and maybe not in the right ways, and we're not focusing on post-secondary goals as much as we can, and not just the school counselors, creating plans, but everybody being involved in the process, and the teachers encouraging post-secondary career options. That's definitely something our school could use more of.
Okay. Well, I definitely think collaboration is a huge piece of it. If we all work together, I think that we can definitely get this graduation rate up, and I really appreciate hearing everything that you've told me, because there's so many factors that go into it, and hearing a teacher's perspective is extremely important since you're with these students every day. So just want to say thank you, and we'll take all of this into consideration, and I'm sure I'll talk with you about it soon.
Sounds great, Jordyn. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, what do I do?
It's just a couple seconds short, but